Hi, I'm Claire Stevenson, Committee Member for PEWA in Brisbane, wishing a very happy day of International Women and Girls in Science. So I'm a Principal Hydrogeologist and my degrees were in Forestry and in Geology. I did my research honours in the uptake of groundwater by trees and have also completed my MBA and currently doing my PhD in Groundwater Economics. So my career's definitely evolved and changed over time. I started in contaminated sites in Western Australia doing a lot of field work, so collecting samples and watching drillers drill holes. I don't get to site quite as much, but do still get to get out there a little bit. So a lot of my work is piecing together all of that data, understanding the data and analysing things that might have happened in the past or currently happening or could happen into the future. So groundwater is any water in the ground beneath our feet, and there's different aquifers that things are reliant on and people are reliant on. So it might be for a landholder's water supply, bores, town water supply, or there might be things called groundwater dependent ecosystems, so vegetation and different biota that are reliant on groundwater. Groundwater does also feed into rivers and streams as well as base flow contribution. So very important for the way we live and the environment around there to make sure it is looked after. So that's why we have Commonwealth and state legislation and policy around looking after those water resources. So our job is to assess the data that we can to make sure that they are in good condition and to provide advice if a land use activity might impact on it. So that might be things like tunnels, excavations for developments, mining, and it's also looking at things into the future. So we use numerical groundwater modelling to predict what happen into the future. So there's a lot of, desktop work and reporting and analysing data and drawing beautiful pictures in cross-section. I would, say anyone looking to get into this kind of career is just find the thing that gets you excited. So I guess there's lots of avenues of groundwater or any environmental kind of area as well. Find the thing that gives you a lot of energy, makes you love what you do. And if there's no role description that matches what you want to do, then, go and write it. PEWA to me, I really enjoy PEWA. I've been part of PEWA for quite a while. It's a really good network of people to find out what's going on in the industry, what changes there might be in guidelines or techniques across all areas of environment. And it's also great to connect and network with everyone and see all the up and coming environmental scientists within Brisbane.
Hello everyone, this is Mariam Esfanbul, Research Innovation Business Manager for Resource Recovery, Recycling and Manufacturing Waste Hub. I did my Bachelor in Soil Science and Master in Soil Chemistry and Fertility back to Iran. Then I moved to Australia 12 years ago with my husband to do my PhD in Environmental Biogeochemistry for remediating contaminated site in mining area. Then I pursue my research as postdoctorate fellowship in waste recycling and removing contamination from our waste or resource. And my husband and I are so lucky to complete our family with our beautiful fairy son Hercules. He's gorgeous. And the thing I like about my job, that engagement and knowledge transferring for industry and business sectors from different value chains to bringing scientists and academia for delivery of applied science and feasible outcome which benefits our business sectors, environment and our community. My main points to all my mates as students or early career, especially female in field of environment, four main things: to be passionate, engaged, committed and collaborative. I'm so delighted to be part of the committee for Queensland branch, Professional Environmental Women Association, which is a great platform for the people like myself, students or early career in the field of environment or sustainability, to coming together through different social function or activities to sharing our ideas, experience and being engaged with each other and any opportunity for collaboration which can protect our environment. We like to see more of our passionate females to join us in future PEWA activities to sharing their experience with us and their journeys. Happy International Women and Girls in Science.
Hi there, my name's Georgia Day. I'm an ecologist and environmental consultant with 4 years of industry experience. Within the industry, I've worked not only as an ecologist, but also as an approval specialist on the client side with Santos, and now I'm working at Arup as an ecologist/consultant. Due to my mixed bag of experience, I don't have an area of expertise, I'm more of a generalist. Some of the things I really enjoy doing is understanding the legislative requirements of projects and seeing how we can do our best to gain outcomes for not just the client but also the environment. A day in my life looks very different depending on the day you walk into. I do a fair bit of field work as well as a lot of reporting. My favourite part of my job is getting strategic and getting into the thinking space of how we can do better for the environment while still obtaining our urban design and urban development objectives. I would tell early professionals that it's okay not to know what you want to do. I spent a lot of time in my first few years worrying that I didn't know what I wanted to do or where I wanted to go, but everything always works out in the end, and as long as you're enjoying the journey, that's more than okay. My favourite thing about PEWA is being a part of a community of like-minded, strong and intellectual women who are forging new paths within our industry. In an industry like ours that's very much male dominated, I enjoy spending time talking and working through the problems that I face as a woman in our industry and seeing solutions from other women.
Hi, my name's Lucy Reading. I'm a senior lecturer at QUT. My field of expertise is groundwater, so the water that flows under our feet. And the particular areas of groundwater that I have expertise in are groundwater chemistry, groundwater monitoring and groundwater modelling. I have a degree from QUT, a Bachelor of Science, and my major was chemistry. And many years later, after I worked for Queensland Government, I did a PhD at UQ, and that PhD was in environmental engineering. So my role is really quite varied. My typical day can range from spending the day in the office, having meetings with my team of postgraduate students, to going into field sites. Some of them can be quite remote, so getting to travel out to those remote field sites to carry out monitoring, to teaching, which could be either in the classroom or in the field. So the parts of my job that I like best are definitely the field work and being able to teach in the field. So I think that's really a great way to gain experience of environmental topics, is being out in the field and actually doing the monitoring. I think that really gives you a head start as well in terms of getting careers in environmental science, having had some field experience. So for anyone who's thinking about getting into environmental science as a career, I'd really encourage you to find out more about the whole range of careers that are available in environmental science fields. So it really is very diverse. So it's really important to try and figure out which type of career aligns with your interests. And a great way to do that can be talking to different people who are already working in different fields in environmental science. So when you find out more about these different jobs, you'll be able to start to figure out which jobs and careers align best with your passion. And that would really be the best way to figure out what areas to focus on. So a really important part of PEWA for me is the networking opportunities. So when you're trying to figure out your career opportunities, networking is really key, so that it's great for figuring out your options, but also you might come back to these networks to try and get some support in finding job opportunities. So the other things that you can get out of PEWA are really just that support network. So we come along and have a lot of social activities, but we can support each other in solving challenges at work or looking for new careers. So I'd really encourage you to get involved with our activities, as well as having a lot of social and networking activities. We also offer training opportunities. We've had a few events really focused on leadership, so I've found those really valuable. Being able to hear from people who are really experienced in the field, find out what sort of challenges they've encountered and how they've dealt with them, I've found that really rewarding. So I think we're going to continue to have these sort of events with training and networking, and for me as well, being involved in PEWA is particularly about trying to find and create and promote opportunities for students and young professionals to help develop and establish their careers.
Hi everybody, I'm Brinjai Talika and I am the Environment Manager at Ventia in their Infrastructure Services team. So Ventia is an essential infrastructure company. We work across Australia and New Zealand. I completed a Bachelor of Science back home in WA at Perth at UWA in Natural Resource and Environmental Economics, with an honours project tacked on there with the EPA, and then when I moved over to Brizzy, I completed an Environmental Management grad certificate here at UQ, and I've just commenced my MBA, so we'll get back to you on how that goes. My specialty is in my title, and that's really that it doesn't exist. I've always worked in a more general environmental management role, and that means that I know enough to comment on most disciplines, but not enough to be really dangerous in any, and I actually really enjoy it that way. I get to collaborate with a whole heap of specialist environmental consultants, and it means that there's always something new for me to learn and grow on. Because I'm only 2 months into this current role, my days are still pretty varied and pretty wild, so it's hard to let you know what I'm up to, but some of the big ticket items are developing a sustainability strategy for our division, so how we're going to reduce our scope 1, 2 and 3 emissions, converting our electricity to renewable sources, transferring out diesel plant equipment for new hybrid and electric alternatives, so that's pretty exciting. And also coordinating an environmental training campaign for our division of over 8,000 employees across electricity, gas, power stations, and some pretty funky remediation projects, which is exciting too. I've always loved working in environmental science. Everyone you meet on your journey has a shared passion for some sort of conservation or climate science or social justice, and it means whenever you are catching up with your network, that there's always a conversation that happens that inspires you and gets you up to date with what's happening. So I'd say to anyone that's considering environmental science, definitely do it. There's so many different pathways you can go down and continue to pivot as your career grows. And because it's environment, all the different disciplines, I guess, are linked in some way, and all the frameworks that we work within can be easily applied, I guess, as you change into those different disciplines. Sustainability, I guess, for me personally is a big one at the moment, and it's so topical and it's so relevant that it means that there's always going to be that attention and focus on it, I guess, when you're going into environmental science and those sort of supporting disciplines. I guess I'm also lucky enough to be one of the committee members here at PEWA up in Queensland, so I get to collaborate with the amazing Lucy, Claire, Miriam and Georgia, catch up with you all and help you any way we can, I guess, in the professional environmental women's space. We're going to continue to look at hosting technical seminars with you guys out there and your expertise, continue with our networking events, but obviously are open to any feedback. So let us know what you are up for and look forward to catching up with you all soon. Yeah.